Welcome to the Northern Reaches Part 2. I joined this just north of Hincaster. At the moment, as you can see, there's no water in the canal on this stretch. Got a short walk to do to get to Hincaster Tunnel, and then a little further along and we get to bits where the water is, certainly south of Stainton, where it's got plenty of water. Access to this was via the deer park at Levens again, but turning right out of the deer park to a short quarter-mile walk along a country lane. It's all signposted if anybody fancies doing it themselves. And here is Hincaster Tunnel, 378 yards long. There was no towpath through the tunnel, so the horses had to use the horse trail over the top of the hill, which we'll see shortly. Bolts were either legged through or pulled through on chains or ropes. It was last used for traffic in 1944. Over the top of the hill at Hincaster, and we're following the horse trail now. Here's the second of the horse tunnels. This one's quite a big one because it goes underneath the West Coast main line. You probably can't see the electric wires up there. And this one probably carries a farmer's track. And then out into daylight. And just down the steps there's a little bridge over the canal, but I'm not going to bother going down there. That just gives you access to see Hincaster Tunnel, but we can see it easy enough from the end of the horse trail. There's not much difference between the North Portal and South Portal. You can probably hear the road in the distance. That road is yet another one that's bisected the canal since it was closed. Oh, that's nice. This wasn't here last time I came through. And then looking back, we can see the other side of the canal tunnel. Here we leave the old towpath, but only briefly, just to get underneath this road. And then immediately after that, turn right and you're back on the towpath. And here we have the towpath on the left. The canal bed's been cleared there and had some black polythene put down. And then the other side of this bridge is water. They did fill a stretch about, must be 10 years ago now. They called it the first furlong. So I seem to recall they had a leak, so they had to take all the water out and do more work on it. But it seems to be holding water, so that's a good sign. Stop planks are still in at Stainton. And you can see beyond the bridge is the embankment, which marks the difference between the bit on the left, which is the volunteers' work, and the actual canal, which runs all the way to Preston on the other side, on the right hand side. Popular little picnic stop that I've used it a few times. Don't know if you can see the heron on the other side, but he's gone rusty. He's been there a long, long time. Oh, there's one in the boat over there. He looks in better condition. This is Stainton Aqueduct. Carries the river under the canal. In 2015, the right-hand side of the wall collapsed, and it cost £2 million to repair. It took 5 years to do the work. But we've made a really nice job of it. They made quite a big difference to the towpath since I was last here. Another thing is this throwing line, in case anyone falls in the wet stuff. Mind you, at the moment, looks more like pea soup. As you may notice, I now have a microphone. It should help the audio from my voice. Won't necessarily stop me waffling rubbish, but at least you should be able to hear the rubbish. It's quite unusual for these cast iron protector plates to still be on the bridge. I guess most of them have probably rusted away and been stolen, whatever. This has his name on it, stamped in on it, if you can see it on the camera. T. Soul. They were put on the bridge to protect from the ropes rubbing on the stonework, as you can see on this side. It's not very pronounced, but you can probably see the horizontal lines. This area is known as Wakefield's Wharf. There used to be a narrow gauge railway, well, more like a horse-drawn tramway, that ran from here down to Gatebeck to a gunpowder works owned by W.H. Wakefield. They ceased making gunpowder there in 1937. They used to bring the gunpowder up to here to transship onto canal boats. The additional stonework on the side of this bridge used to carry the tramway, the horse-drawn tramway, across the canal. Can't see anything on the other side, so it looks like that bit's gone. The Lancaster Canal Trust trip boat, named Waterwitch. Cuckland Stable used to be a stable for 2 horses, but it's been taken over by the Lancaster Canal Trust. And also there's a little honesty shop here. And here's Peasy Beck, the main feeder for the canal. There are several others, but this one brings most of the water for the canal. The water is brought down from Killington Reservoir. One of the many places since the 1960s where they've built over the canal. So the canal's had to pipe underneath a new road. Just a short detour under the road and we're soon back on the canal again. Another culvert, another road, and what used to be a boring concrete tunnel, but it's been decorated. I don't know who's done this, but it looks pretty cool. That yellow cycle took me a little while to read it in this light. I do like that, that is really nice. Great job whoever did this. At Bridge 155 we have to divert up off the canal onto a road. The canal carries on for a few hundred metres before coming to a dead end at the M6 where it goes under a culvert, which we can't do, so we have to go up over a road bridge over the motorway and take a footpath through a field. And here we are, crossing the canal's noisy neighbour, the M6 motorway. Just immediately after crossing this bridge we turn left. And here we are into Home Village. Probably going to be the end for today. I'll go see if the pub's open because I think I've just missed a bus. 45 minutes to wait for the next bus. Time for a beer. Cheers. Hello again. Now it's 2 days later and we're going to complete the walk to Tewitfield. I'm in a bit of a rush on the first part of this journey because there's a steam train coming and I want to be in a position where I can see it and film it. It's in about an hour's time, so we should easily be able to do it. It's only about a 4-mile stretch all the way to Tewitfield, so it shouldn't be a problem. It's a lovely Saturday morning, lots of dog walkers out and about. It's a lovely warm day for mid-August. Forecast says 22, 23 degrees today. It's been like that for a while now. This was one of the options for seeing the steam train, but I don't really think it's going to work very well because this lens is really wide and my phone keeps going off. I've got plenty of time, another 35 minutes, so I'll push on. I think there's a bridge I can stand on a little further up, get a better view. Oh look, and here comes the train. And a motorbike. You can't really tell from the canal, but we're actually crossing an aqueduct here. There's a road underneath us, quite a long way down. On the opposite side of the canal is a cottage that our friends Ron and Louise rented a few years ago. Spent a week up here on holiday. Well, we made it. About 5 minutes to spare before Blue Peter came through. Sounded like the diesel on the back of it was doing all the work though. That one was called Winston Churchill. Right, back to the canal and back along the towpath to Tewitfield. Another culvert, and this one means a diversion off and around as we get past the noisy neighbour again from M6 motorway. And after a fairly short walk around, we're back to the canal. Unfortunately, it's not going to be quiet all the way now to Tewitfield because we've run parallel to the M6. That's a handy looking machine. The lock gates at Tewitfield were removed many years ago. The water just cascades down now. There are a number of bat boxes in the trees along here. I was wondering if they ever get any sleep with the noise from the motorway. I can't see any more now. I've seen the one. Maybe some more further down. Oh yeah, here's another one. Two. Three, yeah, three. And here is the end of the northern reaches. This is the last culvert, which I believe is a siphon. And then we have to go and walk alongside our noisy neighbour. I think most people don't realise how noisy it is by the motorway. It's a very noisy environment. And then just like that, here is Tewitfield services on the Lancaster Canal. And that wraps it up for this one. This is the end of the Northern Reaches southern section. Thanks for watching. Bye.